Call the meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Today is May 12th, and this is our first meeting of the month. Therefore, it's an abbreviated agenda for tonight. We have a roll call, please.
Larry?
Here.
Aaron? Here. Meyer? Here. Burrows? Coleman?
Here.
Ramey?
Here. And prior to the recognition of audience, I'd just like to make a comment. There's been quite a bit of discussion in various ways and forms over the past several weeks about our water meters. And I think first it's very important that there's always two sides to every story in every instance that we deal with on a daily basis. I'd like to stress to the residents that if at any times they have any questions about your water bill or any other matter pertaining to the village, that you either come into the village hall, staff will try to assist you in any way or form and try and answer your questions, or if that isn't feasible for you, by all means you can contact one of your elected officials. But once you're in the village hall, specifically asking about your water bill, you can see your history, they can take a look at your history, and they can make a determination whether anything looks out of the ordinary, or for that matter, if the customer or the resident thinks that something looks out of the ordinary. We'll be more than happy to try and answer any questions they have, and if necessary, we'll even come to your house and we'll take a look at things within your house to see if anything could be raising a red flag or why your water bill could be out of the ordinary. But first and foremost, I think it's very important that every resident, prior to even coming to the village hall or asking a question about a water bill that does seem to be high and may in fact be high, do a self-check and make sure that their water faucets, their toilets, their water softeners, their lawn sprinkling systems, whether or not they had extended stay with overnight guests that may have increased their water usage. Take a look and see exactly what you've done and how you did it over the last couple of months and see if there is a logical explanation of what has occurred. But if it did not, if you don't have any explanation whatsoever and staff can't come up with any questions, by all means, at your request, we can remove the water meter. We can have it sent to a lab, an independent lab, the distributor, or a lab of the manufacturer. And from what I understand, we are exploring even a possibility where a company will come out and possibly look at the meter within your home to test the meter. If the meter comes back accurate, then we can discuss on ways or means and how to pay for the water bill or what adjustments, if any, we have to make. If the water meter does in fact come bad, and in my experience over the municipalities that I have worked with over the number of years, talking to public works superintendents that we currently have and public works superintendents that I've worked along with in the past, normally a water meter will underread and will not overread, but it can happen. And if it does happen, the village will replace the water meter and will adjust your account accordingly, and bottom line is you will not have to pay anything that you do not use within that water meter. Again, but it's very, very important that you contact us and you ask us questions if you see something out of place, rather than let it fester or let it burn or end up on social media or whatever the case may be. We encourage you to come in and ask questions of the village hall. And with that, is there anybody from the audience that wishes to address the board? If not, can I have approval of the minutes of the prior meeting? And I believe there were two sets, the public hearing and the regular meeting of April 28th. Is there any questions, additions?
I make a motion to approve the meetings from the public hearing of April 28th for the budget and the regular board meeting of April 28th.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor and there was a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Cleary?
Yes.
Aaron? Yes. Meyer?
Yes.
Coleman?
Yes.
Whaley?
Yes.
Okay, and reports of the village's commissions, the beautification commission, Trustee Aaron.
We're having our meeting tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock at the Village Hall.
He may have left you a message, it's been changed till next Tuesday. Till next Tuesday, May 20th.
Okay. Well, it's next Tuesday then. That's all I
Anything
have.
else?
That's it.
And 4th of July commission, Trustee Coleman?
Yeah, the tickets are now available for the 2014 Camaro, which we're going to give away this year. They can be gotten at the Village Hall at this point, and some 4th of July commission members in the future. Other than that, I think everything's coming along on schedule, and we look forward to a successful year.
Thank you. Anybody have anything for the youth commission? Ribbon of Hope, trustee Wells?
There's no report.
And trustee Query, I'll let you go on.
Okay. Kim, treasurer's report?
Okay, treasurer's report, I think, was passed out. I know you guys didn't have a chance to look at it too much, but there isn't a whole lot of activity to talk about. This is the low point of our year traditionally, as far as balances go. The tax season hasn't started yet as far as the tax, real estate tax income part of our world. And so therefore the expenses at this point, chiefly payroll and other operating expenses are larger than our income until we start back into what we would call our income season. So if you look at, we're 92,000 less than we were last month in our operating income side. Like I said, chiefly out of general and O&M, which is our payroll parent accounts chiefly. So we expect that, and that's, I think we're at the time now where we should be starting back up the hill with our income. So hopefully that'll take place. Down at the bottom of the commission reports, the 4th of July's movement is chiefly the car. I think it's offset by some deposits and other things to show that negative 20,000. Otherwise, you don't have much change in that area. So that's the reports, or the accounts, reporting the accounts. The next page is our graph, reflecting really what we're saying, which is that we're at, in April, which has been traditional, we're at our lowest point. We're just added both of our village accounts and the general account, which we are tracking also side by side here. So that's a graphical demonstration where we stand. The next page has all the checks and expenses that we put through outside of the accounts payable group payments. Once again, as you go through it, you see that it's central and general with our payroll-related expenses that are written outside of the AP run, our fuel account, say a little newsletter activity, put the newsletter out. Otherwise, nothing unusual. Like I said, mostly operational expenses. And the final page is just a recap. Not much activity with 625 Dixie account. We did have a couple of checks written for, I think, our reletting of the bid and a small dumpster bill that we, during the demolition and the interest. So our balance at 267, 767.08 is what is sitting in our Dixie account at this point.
No, we write a check out of 625 Dixie, the board approves those bills first. Is that correct?
Right. Any questions?
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, I do this all the time.
Oh, Nelson, that's what.
I've got, Nelson also passed out his 4th of July running budget and actuals, and being the sitting right here, maybe you could comment on it.
You might want to look at the last column, the activity for this year, and compare it with the next to the last column, which is the budget for this year. And we are beginning to get some income in sponsors and vendors. So we have about $12,000 so far in income, and the expenses are still about $17,000 more, a little over $17,000 more than the income. So you can look it over. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
There's a meeting Wednesday night.
This meeting this Wednesday, yes.
I was told 6. We put on the agenda 6 by the president. Yeah. Yeah, it is unusual.
So I make a motion approving the treasurer's report for the fiscal month of, last month, April.
Second.
And motion on the floor, there's a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Coleman?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Cleary?
Yes. Variances reports are also attached to the meeting minutes, so we can look at those. And the bills were sent to us in advance. There's a few. Bob, you said you've added a few?
Yeah, let's go through them real quick. We have a uniform supplies from Galls that we added since Friday night for $19 for Emerson. We got the fingerprinting bill for the month of April, so we included that in there, so that went up from $220 to $756. That right now we are deducting off of a revenue item, because that was not an expense in the budget, and it's a revenue generator, so we're subtracting that from the revenue. The next bill in italics is minor electronics. We received another bill for $190 for the repair to squad car electronics. We received a bill from Ray and Wally's Towing Services. We have to tow the 1995 International with J.D. Mueller. Due to an engine failure, we believe it was a fuel filter. Don't know yet. And those are only new bills that were added, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Any questions concerning the bills? I make a motion approving the bills for the month of April 2014, the value of $90,249.89.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor, and there's a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Cleary?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Coleman?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yes.
Want to just keep rolling? Good. We're looking to, since we own the property at 265 Dixie, we also need to pay the taxes. As it was per the sales agreement, the taxes are in the amount of $4,140.30. Since we are one of the taxing bodies, we will also be paying ourselves $391.86, since that's part of the tax bill that was there, so that'll be coming back to us. So I make a motion authorizing the payment for the property taxes of 625 Dixie Highway for the 2013 agreement of $4,140.30.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor, and there's a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Bailey?
Yes.
Coleman?
No.
Meyer?
Yes.
Aaron?
No.
Cleary?
Yes.
Semansky?
Yes.
Next item on our agenda is concerning the resolution authorizing the execution of a law enforcement mutual aid agreement as a member of the Illinois Law Enforcement Alarm System. We've been asked to approve this and return it to the ILS by May 15th. It doesn't give us much time to see that thing.
Yes, that's correct. That's why we put it on the agenda for
Yeah,
tonight.
it's pretty tight. Anything you want to bring up, Jeff?
I just want to add that their Illinois Law Enforcement Training and Standards Board, about a year, 2 years back, they had some issues with ILEAS in the fact that they were a law enforcement agency, and that is not the case. They are made up and they are comprised of law enforcement agencies coming together to have mutual aid for disasters. So what this does is it cleans up all the language and identifies it. We've signed one of these when we originally signed up for ILEAS, and this is cleaning up all the language after the attorneys went through it. It's the new agreement, which I recommend signing. We belong to ILEAS. We're a part of their mobile field force. Our officers have been deployed. They give us reimbursement for the training and reimbursement for the deployments, and they also pay the backfill. So when an officer is deployed and a part-timer covers, they're paying that part-timer's salary also.
Any questions? I make a motion for the resolution number
2014-8.
2014-08, authorizing the execution of a law enforcement mutual aid agreement as a member of the Illinois Law Enforcement Alarm System.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor, and there was a second. Any questions? Roll call.
Cleary?
Yes,
Aaron?
Yes.
Meyer?
Yes.
Coleman?
Yes.
Bailey?
Yeah.
that's it.
Thank you. Is there any new business to come before the board?
I was approached by a couple residents over on Fairway Drive. A while ago, there was a street sign, or a street light broken off, and there's wires coming out of the ground, out of the base, and just wondering if that's gonna be replaced, or what's the deal on that?
Just came to my attention, boy, 2 or
2
3
weeks
days ago,
ago.
remember I asked you, and you said that was the pole that was hit 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
ComEd removed the pole, secured the wiring, and then claimed it was the village's pole and not theirs, and then it got lost in the paperwork somewhere. I didn't even know there was a light there.
Yeah,
Well, that was reported to ComEd, right.
okay, because it's dark on that end too, because it's all the way at the,
But I wish if people have a streetlight problem, please call the village hall. We'll get the ball rolling. That streetlight should not have been out for 2 or 3 years.
no,
And that's their
Yeah.
pole.
Is that our pole or their pole? I didn't think
No,
we-
that's theirs.
So why are they thinking it's our
It's the,
responsibility?
It's the design with the two,
The resident called ComEd, and ComEd told the resident that it was the village's pole. But then after that, it didn't get reported. You know, the first we heard of it was last week. They didn't call the village hall.
okay.
And we told them we'd take care of it. And I was shocked to find out it's been 2 or 3 years since that pole's been missing.
Figured they just abandoned it, because like I said, it's not
Yeah, we're
ours.
still paying for it. We pay a monthly.
Because it's an account.
Yeah, we pay a monthly rental fee for each pole in town, so
It
this
is,
creates an issue.
it is the village's pole.
It's money back.
It's the villages.
Yeah.
No, it's ComEd's.
Well, but, yeah, comment, to me it's the village, but.
No.
No, it's- ComEd's responsible for maintaining
Yeah.
those streetlights. If there's any problems, they go in and do it. That's part of our fee that we pay.
Right.
Just for the history, so you'll know, on Huntington Court, those are owned by the association.
Right.
Because at the time, they wouldn't, ComEd would not take responsibility for decorative lights. After that development, when Fairway Drive went in, they had approved 2 or 3 decorative lights, and these fit that category. So it is, you know, ComEd should be accepting responsibility for replacement.
This is the end of Fairway.
Right.
Well, and see, if they call Commonwealth Edison's standard number, they're not gonna know what the agreements are. It would be better if they, even if, because the residents aren't gonna know what pole is owned by or under whose control. So they should always call the village hall, and the village hall would execute the request on Commonwealth Edison, because we know the layout of what we own and what we don't.
Yeah,
Because there are sections in the village that are the responsibility of the village.
We have 2 reps, so we have to rep.
good.
How was the new rep?
Haven't met him yet.
I've been emailing with him, I have not met him.
Any other new business? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wow.